Hello. This week's First Chapter Friday is Unsettled by Reem Faruqi. And April is Poetry Month, and April is also Arab American Heritage Month. So I thought that this book about a girl who moves to the United States from Pakistan and is a novel in verse would be the perfect fit for this month. So I actually started reading this book, and I thought I was just going to read like a little bit to kind of get myself ready for this video, and I just couldn't stop. I just read the whole thing and couldn't stop. It's got really beautiful artwork, not only on the cover, but in the book as well.
In case you weren't sure, this is where Pakistan is located on the map. It's in the Middle East, in Asia.
So first there's a drawing of the family tree. And then we go into part one, uprooting. So there are these nice drawings at the beginning of each section, kind of a chapter. Escape. I grab Asna's hand, palm to palm, nail to nail, and lean in, but Nana's hand yanks my shoulder. Don't you know about the father who went in to get the mother, who went in to get the brother, who went in to get the baby? The sea swallowed them up. These waves are not to be played in. But Nana, I'm a swimmer. Nana gives me a look, a flash of gray-ringed eyes, a look that makes me swallow my words up whole. Best friends. My grandmother Nana watches us, so we stay on the sand. After watching camels roam in the surf, their pom-poms taunting us, a balloon seller bobbing by, red, yellow, blue, green circles looking down at us, an elderly beggar woman with too many wrinkles to count, and black crows shrieking for food and company. Asna and I trace our names over and over, watching the waves slurp them up. So every so often in this book, because it's a novel in verse, you can see the word down is written down. And there's a few other things like that in here. I watch Nana write back. Beach food. For lunch, soft mutton that my fingers shred easily. Biryani rice. Brown, saffron gold, white, ghee-soaked grains that gently slip off my spoon. For dessert, a white box tied with string. Asna and I sneak our hands in. Buttery biscuits from the bakery, a dot of jelly in the middle. For tea, roasted corn, its teeth more black than yellow, chips saltier than the sea. Tea time. When the sun is dipping and Nana goes to the villa to pray with Nana Abu, we tiptoe in finally. The waves pull hard, but we smile anyway, stuff our laughter in our cheeks, giddy with getting away with it. After a few waves, guilt strikes. We turn to tiptoe back, but my glasses fall, and even though I try to grab them, the sea sucks them up, never to return. The perfect day. If I could choose a day to live over and over, I'd choose today. Camel rides on the sand, the feel of stiff fur, memories of the sun setting in our hair, sandy eyelashes. Sandy eyelashes. Home. After the bumpy ride home from the beach, we are served scoops of gold, Nana's mango ice cream, and Baba's news. The worst day. If I could choose from all the days on this earth to live over and over, I'd skip today. Tangle. Just when my grandmother Dadi's mind becomes so tangled that she doesn't remember my name anymore, Baba, my father, gets the news, a job offer in America. He says yes, because my uncle is here to help. He says yes, because the schools there are better. He says yes, because of job security. He says yes. The yes slices our old world away. We will travel mile upon mile, mile upon mile, while my grandmother's mind tangles up more, tangle upon tangle, tangle upon tangle. Math class. While I wait for my new glasses to be ready, reading is fuzzier, but numbers are still sharp in my mind. The teacher taps her desk, picks and flicks chipped rosy polish, the color of my gums, while we are supposed to be solving for X, A, and B, but I am counting hours, minutes, seconds. How many seconds do I have if I leave in 53 days? Swift pencil marks on paper. Calculate. 53 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes times 60 seconds is 4,579,200 seconds. I like math because there's always one answer. 6 plus 7 will always equal 13, my age. I like math because numbers don't change their minds. I wish Baba wasn't like a number right now. I wish Baba would change his mind and let us stay. My family's outsides. Me. I have a bump on my nose. The doctor calls it a deviated septum. My nose is always stuffy and a little crooked, and even though I don't want people to notice my nose, it's always making noise, so it gets noticed anyway, especially when it gets extra stuffy after I go for a swim, which is my favorite thing ever, which is every day. My eyebrows are not inverted delicate V's like my father's, but straight bushy lines like my mother's. My face is practical, too practical, but it envies my hair, a black mirror that in the brightest sunlight turns brown. My hair is always smooth and silky. It makes friends easily with my fingers in the comb. If I choose to cover my hair like my mother, what will my face envy? My big brother, Owais, who is 2 years and 2 days older than me, 732 days to be exact, doesn't want to move either. His eyebrows hug each other as he pushes dal and rice around on his plate, around and around. Instead of packing, he visits the swimming pool, diving deep into the water over and over again. Instead of packing, he visits the tennis courts, slicing the ball easily over the net. He slices the ball so hard and so far away that when the ball finally hits the net, he sinks to his knees and doesn't have the energy to get up. Ami, my mother, original owner of the thick bushy eyebrows. My mother's brows are straight lines like Owais and me. If you were to pour tea and add a little milk and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be the color of my skin. If you were to pour tea and add milk, you would need to pour, and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until the color of my mother's skin. My mother, Ami, is prettier than me. I know it in the way she lingers at the mirror, and I don't. Her delicate features boast at more beauty, while mine have already accepted who they are. But there is one thing of mine that is better than hers. Her hair knots easily, and mine never does. Her smile doesn't reach all the way to her eyes when she tries to sell us America. Baba, my father. My father's eyebrows are the wings of birds flying into the horizon. Only when my father is mad they become like my mother's. Now that we're moving from Pakistan to the United States of America, they stay inverted. Nana Abu, the father of my mother. Nana Abu has 2 toes on his left foot that hug each other, one a little in front of the other, one a little behind the other, that I call hugging toes. Even with his hugging toes, my grandfather does not really give out hugs. But when Nana told him we were moving, his tree arms reached out, long and loving limbs gave me a side hug. Asna is the tallest in the class, taller than the boys, taller than Mrs. Zachariah even. I am the smallest in the class, smaller than the teacher, smaller than all the other boys and girls. But when I am with Asna, I am the loudest. So Mrs. Zachariah tries to move my seat far from Asna. Now that I'm moving, my seat will be very far. Now is Mrs. Zachariah happy? Last day of school. I make my eyes hard, scoop my chair next to Asna, close the space all the way, no inches left, not even a millimeter. I look around and dare Mrs. Zachariah to say anything. She doesn't. Asna. Asna is my best friend. Not just any friend, not just a good friend, but a best friend. Asna, who has a new baby sister, says, "But you have to be here. But you have to see her grow up." And then this last part is this kind of a poem here. I'll read it to you. Have. Have you? Have you ever? Have you ever said? Have you ever said goodbye? Have you ever said goodbye to? Have you ever said goodbye to a? Have you ever said goodbye to a best? Have you ever said goodbye to a best friend? Visiting grandmothers. Guilt slaps the soles of my feet when I run up the marble stairs to the room of my mother, Nana's room. Then I walk slowly to Daddy's room. Daddy, when I tell the mother of my father goodbye, she doesn't wish me a safe trip, a happy life, lots of love. Instead, she asks me my name. Seeds of hope. My grandmother Daddy may not know my name, but every morning she scoops seed into her palms that are lined, 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 and she scatters it round the garden. The birds are remembered. When she's not looking, I scoop a handful of seeds, knot them tight in my dupatta. I will pack these with me, take them with me, feed the birds there, feed them for her. Nana. When I tell the mother of my father goodbye, she hugs me so tight, holds me so long, my eyes feel hot. She's lucky, she gets to stay. Her roots spread deep and don't have to be uprooted like me. Did you know nasturtium flowers don't like to be uprooted? Their roots don't like new soil. Nana. Should actually be called Nani, mother of my mother. But Owise's first word was Nana, father of my mother. So Nana, who is always giving us food, who is always giving us clothes, who is always giving us books, who gives us everything really, grabbed the word and said, mine. Nana. Superb is what Nana says about my art when I join her in the afternoons underneath the veranda fan to paint, draw, sketch. When I have a brush in my hand or a pencil, my insides breathe. But now that we're moving, Nana is too busy to paint, draw, sketch. I can read her mind through her quiet sighs, slight wrinkles, mouth stitched together, so she doesn't say too much. Still, Nana's disapproval is like charcoal on paper, heavy and smudged. They say children are more resilient than we think. Nonsense. Children are far less resilient than we think. Nana knows everything. My grandmother Nana's hands pierced my ears when I was a baby, fed me my first bites of mushy kichiri. Now her hands stay busy making clothes for me before I leave. Now her hands buy yards of cotton cloth at the bazaar, piping at the lace stall, bring the cloth home, soak the cloth in a plastic bucket so it doesn't shrink, of course, dry it in the sun and take it to a tailor, then phone the tailor. Are the clothes ready yet? Then return to the tailor to pick up the clothes, hand the tailor crisp notes, rewash and starch the clothes before finally giving them to me, perfectly folded and ready to be packed. Fold your dreams and pack them too while you're at it, her eyes say. With us gone, what will her hands do now? Blue cocoon. Under the peach sky, under the crows cawing, under the veranda by the garden is the pool. One thing Owias and I do no matter what every day is swim, swim, swim in Nana and Nana Abu's pool. Nana Abu floats like a tree, sways side to side. Nana bobs up and down and up in her swimsuit and sari petticoat, while Owias and I swim laps back and forth and back. Owias's arms and legs have more rhythm than mine, have more speed than mine. He wins medal upon medal, but still we are the underwater siblings. Down at the bottom of a pool floor, we are in a bright blue world, safe in our blue cocoon. Can we stay here until the clouds go to sleep? They can't make us move, can they? But we must move, the same way we must come up for air. Motia and Mendi. Before our long flight, Asna's fat Mendi cone swirls green farewell paisleys and her initials and mine intertwined on my empty palms. I push my new glasses up my nose to study my new hands. Before our long flight, White, fragrant mochia flowers are threaded together in 3 delicate circles. One circle of flowers loops lazily over my ponytail. 2 circles of flowers placed on my 2 skinny wrists by Nana. Polished petals hinting at new possibilities, at hope. Okay, and that's the end of part 1. And I just want to show you the drawings. This is part 2, replanting. So in the second part, she starts talking about, it's really kind of an interesting part of the book because she's talking about once she gets to the United States, they move to Georgia, and compares some of the differences between Pakistan and America. And it's just a beautiful book. I really love the kind of the lyric way the book is written. So I hope you like this too. Unsettled. Come check it out in our library.